Hey binge watchers! September 2025 is stacking up to be an insane month for TV. Get ready for a flood of new releases across Netflix, Prime, and Apple TV+. From nail-biting crime thrillers to brain-twisting sci-fi, from chilling horror mysteries to non-stop action that'll keep your pulse racing. Number 10. Black Rabbit 2025.
Giggles? You're fucking skimming. And what are you spending it on? You dragged us all into this!
Kicking off the list at number 10, we've got Black Rabbit, a gritty new crime drama set against the neon glow of New York City's nightlife. The story follows Jake Friedkin, the sharp and ambitious owner of a VIP lounge that's on the verge of becoming the city's next big thing. But just as success is within reach, his estranged brother Vince shows up. And let's just say, Vince is the kind of guy who brings chaos wherever he goes. The tension between the two brothers doesn't just stir up old wounds, it drags them into a dangerous game of ambition, loyalty, and survival. And with a stellar supporting cast, this show promises more than just slick drama. It digs deep into the messy realities of family and the price of chasing power. Personally, I love series that mix family drama with high-stakes tension, and Black Rabbit looks like it's going to do exactly that. Number 9. NCIS Tony and ZIVA 2025.
When you said you wanted a little getaway, I have to admit this is not what I imagined. Killer cars. Not quite the happily ever after I was hoping.
Sliding into number 9, we've got NCIS Tony and ZIVA, a spin-off fans have been waiting on for years. After ZIVA was thought to be dead, Tony stepped away from NCIS to raise their daughter Tele in Paris. But just when life seemed to have found its rhythm, Tony's security company comes under attack. And that's when ZIVA reappears, alive and very much back in the fight. What follows is an intense game of survival across Europe, where old sparks and old wounds collide. Tony and ZIVA not only have to face international threats and a deadly conspiracy, but also rebuild the trust that once made them one of NCIS's most iconic duos. Personally, I think this show has the perfect mix: globetrotting action, undercover intrigue, and that classic NCIS heart fans love. If you've missed the chemistry between Michael Weatherly and Cote de Pablo, this reunion is going to feel like a gift. Honestly, it looks like NCIS at its best, but with higher stakes and a lot more emotion. Number 8. TAS 2025.
Where's the money?
You're the ones that's been causing all the problems, huh?
I'm gonna take them.
A gritty crime drama set in the working-class neighborhoods of Philadelphia where justice doesn't come easy and morality is never black and white. The story follows FBI agent Tom Brandis, a former priest turned lawman, who's tasked with leading a specialized task force investigating a string of violent drug house robberies. The twist? Their prime suspect is Robbie Prendergast. Not your typical criminal, but a devoted husband, a loving father, and a blue-collar sanitation worker. On the surface, he seems like an everyday guy, but as the investigation digs deeper, Tom is forced into a moral dilemma. Can a man truly live two lives, balancing good and evil? Or is there always a breaking point? What makes Pask stand out is how it strips away the glossy, procedural feel we often see in crime shows. Instead, it dives into raw emotion, layered characters, and the tough realities of suburban America. Personally, I love how it forces you to question where loyalty really lies, to your family, to your community, or to the law. If you're into thrillers that hit with both grit and heart, this one's definitely gonna keep you hooked. Number 7, The Terminal List Dark Wolf, 2025.
War to fight the enemy. But others will seek war to fight themselves.
Get 50 on your legs!
Coming in at number 7, we've got The Terminal List Dark Wolf, a prequel that takes us deep into the shadowy past of Ben Edwards, the Navy SEAL who later becomes a CIA operative. The story unfolds before the events of the original show, tracing Edwards' transformation through covert missions, shady alliances, and moral crossroads that slowly push him into dangerous gray areas. Along the way, he collides with powerful figures, Mossad agents, CIA spy masters, and ruthless operatives like Rife Hastings, while also forming his early bond with James Reese. What I find most compelling here is the balance between explosive, globe-spanning action and the raw, personal struggle at Edwards' core. Dark Wolf doesn't just expand the Terminal List universe, it digs into the human side of warfare, showing that the deadliest battles aren't always fought on the battlefield, but inside the soul. Number 6, Tulsa King, 2022.
Buckle up, here we go.
This man, Freddy, he's a problem.
At number 6, we've got Tulsa King, and let me tell you, this one is a real standout. Not only does it mark Sylvester Stallone's first ever leading role in a TV series, but it also gives us a crime drama that feels both familiar and completely fresh at the same time. Stallone plays Dwight the General Manfredi, a New York mafia capo who finally gets out of prison after 25 long years. But instead of being welcomed back with respect, his own crime family ships him off to Tulsa, Oklahoma, basically exiling him. Betrayed but not beaten, Dwight decides, fine, if you won't give me a kingdom, I'll build one myself. And that's exactly what he does. What's great is watching him piece together a new crew from the unlikeliest recruits, a weed dealer, a bar owner, even a tech-savvy ex-hacker. Of course, it's not all smooth sailing. Dwight has to juggle rival gangs, shady politics, and the FBI breathing down his neck, all while his past threatens to catch up with him. The result, a series that blends crime, humor, and even a bit of Western grit into something that feels fresh. Number 5, Alice in Borderland, 2020. At number 5, we have Alice in Borderland, a show that honestly doesn't get nearly enough credit for how intense and thought-provoking it is. If you love Squid Game, this is right up your alley. But in many ways, I'd say it's even darker and more layered. The story follows Ryohei Arisu, a bored and disillusioned gamer, who suddenly finds himself, along with his friends, transported into an empty, alternate version of Tokyo called the Borderland. Sounds cool at first, right? But here's the catch. Survival depends on playing deadly games. Each game is tied to a playing card, and the suit and number determine just how things are going to get. As the games grow more dangerous, Arisu teams up with Usagi, one of the show's most resilient and resourceful characters, along with other survivors. Together, they try to unravel the mystery of who's behind this twisted world, and why they're being forced to fight for their lives. But of course, every step forward comes with betrayal, heartbreak, and sacrifice. Personally, I think it does an incredible job of showing not just how far people will go to survive, but also how fragile trust becomes when your life is always on the line. If you want a survival thriller that'll keep you guessing right up until the end, Alice in Borderland is a must-watch. Number 4, Gen V 2023.
That's spearheaded autonomous development. And I need you to stop it.
Coming in at number 4 is Gen V, the wild, unapologetically twisted spin-off of The Boys. Now, if you've seen The Boys, you already know what kind of chaos to expect, but trust me, Gen V takes that same gritty, over-the-top energy and throws it straight onto a college campus. Set at Godolphin University, basically the Ivy League for young superheroes, this show follows the first generation of supes who discover that their powers didn't come from genetics or destiny, but from Compound V. And let me tell you, that revelation sets the tone for everything that follows. Here we meet some standout characters: Marie Moreau, who can manipulate blood in seriously jaw-dropping ways, Emma Meyer, who can shrink and grow in size with some pretty crazy consequences, and Jordan Lee, one of the most unique supes in the franchise, who can shift between male and female forms mid-battle. These students are battling it out for top rankings and a potential golden ticket, a spot in the 7. Personally, I loved how Gen V isn't just about superpowers and action. It digs into identity, morality, and the pressure of living in a world where your worth is ranked, televised, and commodified. It's a bloody, high-stakes roller coaster that stands on its own while still tying beautifully back into The Boys. Number 3, Slow Horses 2022.
Collateral damage. Everyone in that facility is coming out in a body bag.
You're smiling.
Yeah.
At number 3, we've got Slow Horses, and let me tell you, this is one of the smartest and most underrated spy thrillers in recent years. It's not your typical slick James Bond style espionage. Instead, it throws us into the world of MI5 rejects, agents who messed up so badly they've been banished to a dead-end department known as Slow House. Leading this group of so-called Slow Horses is Jackson Lamb, played brilliantly by Gary Oldman. He's gruff, unfiltered, and at times downright unpleasant, but beneath all that sarcasm and scruff is a razor-sharp mind. His team may be misfits, but when real threats hit the UK, these outcasts prove they've got far more bite than anyone expects. What I love most about Slow Horses is how it flips the spy genre on its head. Instead of polished action heroes, we get flawed, bruised, painfully human characters who still manage to rise to the occasion. It's sharp, it's witty, it's layered with political intrigue, and it makes the shadows of MI5 feel more alive and more dangerous than ever. Number 2, Only Murders in the Building, 2021.
You got your hands on the body.
Hey, that's a felony, right? I'm sure they went to the authorities immediately.
Sliding into the number 2 spot is Only Murders in the Building, a cozy, clever mystery series that proves true crime obsession can actually save lives, or at least solve a few murders. The setup is genius. 3 neighbors who couldn't be more different, Charles a washed-up actor, Oliver a flamboyant director, and Mabel a sharp young artist, discover they all share a love for true crime podcasts. What makes this show so addictive isn't just the whodunit element, though that part is fantastic, with new murders, suspects, and twists every season. It's the chemistry between the trio. Watching their awkward banter slowly turn into real friendship gives the series both its humor and its heart. For me, Only Murders in the Building strikes the perfect balance. It's suspenseful without being heavy, funny without being silly, and touching without ever trying too hard. Plus, the quirky residents and oddball side characters keep every episode fresh. If you love mysteries with charm and wit, this is one you'll get hooked on instantly. Number 1, Wednesday, Season 2, 2022 to 2025.
If you don't hurry, you'll have nothing left to save.
And finally, claiming the number 1 spot, it's Wednesday Season 2. The Queen of Gothic Wit is back. This season takes us even deeper into the eerie halls of Nevermore Academy, where secrets fester and danger lurks behind every shadow. Jenna Ortega sharpens Wednesday Addams into an even deadlier mix of sarcasm, brilliance, and vulnerability, as she faces cryptic visions, sinister new enemies, and dark family truths that refuse to stay buried. This time, Wednesday isn't sleuthing alone. With Uncle Fester and Thing at her side, she digs into a chilling conspiracy that threatens both Nevermore and the Addams legacy itself. Meanwhile, Bianca uncovers a game-changing secret, Enid steps fully into her own power, and Tyler's unresolved fate hangs like a storm cloud over it all. Stylish, twisted, brimming with razor-sharp humor, Wednesday's Season 2 raises the stakes without ever losing its darkly whimsical soul. Streaming now on Netflix, it's not just a continuation. It's proof that Wednesday's battles, both with the world and with herself, are only just beginning. If you enjoyed this roundup of must-see TV series, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss our top picks on the latest shows and films. Drop a comment with your favorite series from this list, or one you think deserves a spot next time. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next binge.